artist, I think, my whole life in a way. You know, it's always a way to express myself and like, you know, speak about things that were hard to talk about. And as I got into recovery and started, you know, having a support system, I was like, you know, I want to let it out. I want freedom. I want expression. I want people to look at it and see like a burst, you know, a burst of color, a burst of freedom and hope and just excitement. So I start with essays, documents, photos I took when I was younger and put them on a canvas. And once the viewer is able to come closer, look at the little details, they see these things peeking through, and that's kind of what recovery is like, you know? It's like you may see this bright, energetic person, but there's something underneath, you know? There's something underneath that they may be working through, but the brightness is what really keeps me going. A lot of the paintings come from my dreams, actually, and a lot of it comes from just letting go and expression at its purest, and it feels great. The thing about mental illness is when you're really in the thick of it, the world is not colorful, it's not bright, you're not seeing things, and that's what I want art to be. I want my art to show people, yeah, let's be excited, let's share our colors with each other, you know, let's express ourselves. And if I can like show a little bit of happiness, like you look at a piece of art, you're like, oh, that makes me smile. That's what it's about, you know, that's what I want to do.
I guess looking at it, I would like people to have some kind of feeling as they're looking at it, or if they can come up with their own story. A lot of my work is about telling stories, so I think it's neat if somebody can kind of find a narrative that explains things to them as well and come up with their own story. I'm a 3D sculptor, mixed media artist. I used to work mainly with just clay, but now I do a lot with found objects as well. The piece that I have in the show here, the harpy piece, that's just made out of ceramics, like a ceramic sculpture. I slab built out of clay. It's all hand built, and then I wound up after fire and painting it with acrylics. My process is I usually start with a sketch. A lot of times I have books, like if I'm doing a particular animal or something, then I look at a picture of an animal or a diagram, and then I always go off in my own direction. I'm inspired by a lot of different life events. I really like pop surrealism and surrealist art a lot. I like Tim Burton's work a lot, and Jim Henson and Brian Froud, who designed a lot of the characters for Jim Henson's movies. And I have a lot of inspirations, which keeps me going, definitely. Art plays a big role in my mental and physical health because I just have so much anxiety, and if I can just like get it out of my body into a piece, and it helps calm me, you know, with feeling up and down a lot. I have bipolar disorder too. Like, I can't emphasize enough what a lifesaver it has been. It's been the best thing that's ever happened to me.
I'm inspired by a lot of different things and a lot of emotions, like whether it be humor or epiphany of like self-reflection. I focus on moments where I feel something and I'm reflecting on like my future. I convey feelings, but messages, I let them have an interpretive experience with it. I'm interested by a lot of styles, and I've mostly been focusing on Impressionism and how you look at it and you can see the full picture, but when you go closer, it breaks apart into individual strokes of paint, and that's really compelling to me. I use acrylic paint a lot, and I love it because the way it dries fast, I don't have to wait so long. I love how colors are associated with emotions, and you can fade one out and make them mess with contrast to create effects. It's really fun to play with color. This piece is different than my other things. It was the first time I dove into making a portrait of myself, and I made it to really test out my skills and see what I've learned over the years. My mental and physical health are tremendously uplifted by art. Before I made art daily, I felt lost, gave me a part in my life where I can just express myself, bloom,